This is patented technology, by the way. We've patented this process and the whole technology worldwide, not just in Australia. Now, if you have a look at the property search here, if we go into there, currently every website in the country and in the world thinks the buyers want to know the same thing. Pictures of the property, brief description, agent's phone number, agent's name, and the price. Okay? Now, that may be true for the owner-occupiers. But for buyers from overseas, they have different criteria. First of all, if they're not a resident, they have to have FIRB approval. None of the current websites show that. We do. Second of all, property investors. We give them a lot more information, which I'm going to go through in a moment. Thirdly, first home buyers. What an owner-occupier may want is a 4-bedroom double lock-up garage with a rumpus room in that. First home buyers look at it in a very different way, which I'm going to go through now. So if we go into that process, the first thing you can do is work out with your calculator how much you can borrow. That's a full live calculator. You can go in there and work out yourself how much you can borrow. Now, what we prefer though is we've got online chat. You can talk to one of 300 finance brokers around the country and you can actually work out what is your current borrowing capacity. And if it says you can borrow $500,000, then they'll work with you. And we're working with some financiers so that we're going to have them pre-LVR approved, so that we can basically get a finance approval within a day. Full finance, fully unconditional within a day. Okay, so that's coming. Not waiting 8 weeks to get your finance approved. So that means agents get paid quicker, the first home buyers get into their own home quicker. Big changes. Okay, you can do that live. Now, once you've worked that out, whether it's from our broker or your own banker or your own bank, we don't care. It's up to you. We want you to get the best deal, because this is all about the buyer. So once you're ready to search, you then go in and set your minimum and maximum criteria. We then put in your deposit. So say if you've got $20,000 deposit, because you still must have genuine savings as a first home buyer. Okay? Banks want that. Second, loan interest rate. So if we put in, say, 4.5, that's a current first home buyer rate roundabout. Enter a location. So if we put in Brisbane, and you just come down, click on that. Now you come down to the map here. You'll notice that map is a pinky colour, because the most important things to any first home buyer are this. Number one, how much can I borrow? Secondly, who's going to help me get the deposit, or how can I get the deposit together? Normally they go to the bank of mum and dad and say, how much can you give me? Because the bank said I need $40,000, I've only got 20, mum and dad, will you give it to me? And that becomes non-genuine savings. It's a different way of looking at loan. Now, the point is, what we're going to do is give the first home buyer back part of the commission, part of the advertising, and we're also going to show them where they can get a first homeowners grant. Okay? Now, you can move that back to let's go back to a couple of kilometres. Just a bit more. There we go. You can pick up your little green house there and say, well, I didn't really want to live there, I wanted to live here. Okay? And you can move that around. Let's bring that back up to 100 kilometres there. What we'll show you, as a first home buyer with that borrowing capacity, the best home, well, the home with the highest deposit assistance is this one here, which means we can give them back towards their deposit $35,401, which is made up of the first homeowners grant of $15,000 plus their share of commission and incentives, comes to a total of $35,000 for a first home buyer. How many first home buyers do you think would like that? And if you keep going down, we just keep showing them, keep going down, down. This one here. Just go into this one. That one there, $30,437. That means they don't have to go to the bank of mum and dad any further, possibly. But the point is this. There's 75,000 first home buyers every year. Does everybody remember when they brought in the first homeowners grant of $7,000 in every property? Do you know how many extra people bought that year as a first home buyer? It doubled to 150,000 because of $7,000. We're able to give them back $30,000, $35,000. In Darwin, we've actually got properties, because their first homeowners grant's $26,000. We're giving them back $40,000 to $50,000. And this is money which is currently being spent in commission and advertising. We're not asking for any more than what's currently being spent. All we're doing is redistributing it. Okay? As I said, $10 billion. It's a lot of money and a lot of transactional money happening every time. So we're not asking the developers for any more, we're not asking the builders anymore, we don't ask the mum and dad for any more. They get to choose what they are going to pay in commission and advertising and incentives. We don't tell them. Okay? So, if we just go into that property there, Wiz, Yarra Bilba, the things that are interesting, property activity, we show everybody who's been looking at that property and how many's happening. So if we just close that off now, we can tell whether the first home buyers, owner occupiers. You can add it to your watch list, you can view your watch list, keep going down as a slideshow starts happening there. You can see here, it's got the normal stuff, bedrooms, bathrooms and bedrooms, garages. You can see also the purchase price is $399,000. Because they had a deposit of $20,000, they've got a mortgage amount of $379,000, which means their payments based on a 30-year P&I loan are $442 a week. That is also going to get better for them because if they use any of the money which we're giving them, which is possibly $35,000, it's going to bring their mortgage down even further. Because when we've spoken to the head of Genworth and also QBE, both mortgage insurers, they love it. Why? Because what they're saying is, if we go down here a little bit, if we go in the incentives again on there, just hit the incentives, what they're saying is that $30,000, we'll take 15 or 20,000 of that, we'll lower our LVR, which lowers our risk, which is great. We're going to leave the buyer with 10 or 15,000, they can go and spend it at Harvey Norman. So, the other interesting things are this, you can speak to a finance broker, you can also offer to buy the property. You can put a deposit in and take that property off the market straight away subject to finance. That trust account is being run by PKF. It's one of our real estate trust accounts, but it's a nationwide trust account run by PKF. We don't even have any access to it. Okay? Run by an accountant, so it's got all the insurances and all that very much covered. Okay? So, the other thing you can do is contact me about this property. You'll see there that we haven't got any agents' phone numbers. We haven't got pictures of them. We haven't got anything about them. What we're doing is we're saying this is about the buyer. So what will happen is if you've listed the property, the response will go out to you. If you don't respond within a certain amount of time, it goes out to all the other agents so people can contact them. Now, if you're concerned about you not knowing the property, you've got to realise in the US, they basically don't have sole agencies. I went over there back when the GFC hit. We were looking at buying properties because they'd gone down, the dollar was in our favour. And what happens is over there, the agent says, well, what do you want to look at? And I said, well, let's look at 4-bedroom homes that have dropped by, 40, 50% in value. So he brings up his computer and he said, yeah, we've got 500 of those. How many do you want to see? And he would turn up to a property which was mortgagee in possession. People have been kicked out. He turns up with his computer and he says, key box, chain to tree, back right-hand corner of the backyard. So he goes out with his key, turns it there, gets the key out, lets you go inside, knows all of the details on the computer and you can look around. Never been into the property ever before. That's the way they do it over there. And they will keep showing you homes, instead of, as we said, sending 49 out of 50 of your potential buyers away, they will keep showing you homes until you either buy one or you tell them to go away. They'll stay with you for a week. If you want to keep looking at homes, they will stay with you all week and show you homes.